The Dallas Cowboys' next 4 opponents are 22-9 combined. I think that the Eagles and the Commanders would love to just ruin and end the Cowboys season. What will the Dallas Cowboys' final record be this year? I think it's pretty clear and obvious which direction things are going for the Dallas Cowboys. But just to confirm, I had to have a guest on today's show to predict the rest of the Dallas Cowboys schedule from this point forward. Joe Morley, Dallas Cowboys hater on the internet. So you're definitely going to get some unbiased takes from Joe. If you guys want to check out Joe's stuff after the show, the links will be in the description to all things Joe Morley Sports, so you can go and check that out for yourself. All right, let's get into the conversation. Let's get into the prediction, the rest of the Cowboys schedule. Here we go. We're here to predict the rest of the Dallas Cowboys schedule together. From here, me and you are going to put together a record prediction that we agree on around the Dallas Cowboys, Joe. Do you think that this is even possible to start with?
That me and you can agree?
Especially on the Cowboys.
Maybe. I doubt it because you love Dak Prescott.
Yeah. My love for Dak Prescott is definitely taking me very good places here, Joe.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna go game by game here. I appreciate you for joining the show once again from here to kind of like give the rest of the NFL fan base a bit of a precursor as to what's coming and how they can torture the Dallas Cowboys fans in their lives.
Yeah.
But I will start this off by saying the Dallas Cowboys' next 4 opponents are 22-9 combined. Sorry for interrupting myself, but one quick reminder before you forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you can be here every single time I post. It's the free way you guys can support the channel. We're trying to build something special here very early on in the stages here. We only have 10,000 subscribers. We're trying to get 20,000 subscribers. The only way that's possible is if you guys support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, turn on notifications. Dong! The Undertaker gongs go off. The Cowboys, who are 3-4, with the 21st ranked offense as of today, the 31st ranked defense as of today, are going to Atlanta next week. I think they could beat the Falcons. I do, but are you betting on the Cowboys to beat the Falcons?
Okay, so what we saw from the Cowboys towards the end of the Niner game, if they can do that and get that rolling, maybe, because finally CeeDee Lamb woke up, right? Finally, they started going back. But, I mean, the Falcons are starting to roll, man. Like, the Falcons' offense, and that I think that's what worries us about the Cowboys more than anything else is that defense hasn't been as stout as we want it to be. Like,
it's terrible. Let's be honest. It's terrible.
Yeah. And like, you thought, like, Mike Zimmer was going to come in and be the good defensive coordinator and change the – no, I think it's got worse. So, and Kirk Cousins, Bijan Robinson is going. Drake London, Kyle Pitts is finally doing something right. So you got all these weapons that you got to try to stop against the Falcons game. I think that's a more winnable game for them. But come on, like, are we really? You have no, like, Dallas has so many issues. Like, when you don't have a running game, you're not helping Dak at all.
Let's say they get a desperate win out of the Falcons game here, and they improve to 4-4, right? The next week against Philly, you're just facing another really good team like the Falcons, but on steroids. Like, there's no way I think that they're beating the Eagles the next week, which puts them at that 4-5 right there. Yeah. And then I know they just lost Stephon Diggs, but the Cowboys defense versus the Houston offense in 3 weeks, the Texans are going to score 50 points, even if Micah Parsons is out there.
Yeah, because you're getting, I mean, just because you lost Diggs, but they're going to get, why am I blanking on the wide receiver? Nico Collins is coming back. Tank Dell's still there. Robert Woods is healthy again. So it's like they still have weapons there. and then we're forgetting that Joe Mixon is having a great season. Like, good luck stopping the Houston Texans, and they want to. And it's the Battle of Texas. You know they want to win that one. Like, Dallas is in a world of hurt. Like, this is not a good schedule for them.
Yeah, because I mean, with that loss, you drop to 4-6 right there, and in the NFC, I don't know how much you believe in yourself at 4-6. It's definitely still possible to make the playoffs from 4-6 for the Cowboys. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but then they go to Washington after that, and they play that buzzsaw with the Washington Commanders are absolutely red hot. Nothing can stop them right now. Even Hail Marys. How'd you like that Hail Mary, by the way, Joe?
It was awesome. I just think it's funny that you're celebrating and you're the one that does it. But this is like, you don't think Dan Quinn knows every single thing about this defense over there? Like, I think that first Washington game is going to be ugly for Dallas.
They're going to get absolutely cooked. I mean, I agree with you. I'm not taking Dallas in that thing. And like you're saying with the whole defense being so terrible, if anyone's been listening to the show and heard me talk about the Cowboys, I never thought the defense was going to be good. I thought that Mike Zimmer, his coaching style, did not line up for the guys in this defense. Not to say that the Cowboys have a bunch of guys that are kind of softies and in their feelings on defense, but they have a bunch of softies. They're in their feelings on defense. Like, these guys get personally offended pretty easily, and Mike Zimmer is willing to just tell you if you fucking suck.
Yeah, and if you listen to Micah Parsons all offseason, he gave you signs of like him and Zimmer weren't on the same page from the get-go. Yeah. Only talking to him a couple times through the offseason, like, that's not good if that's your star player.
And that's something that I wonder if the Cowboys would be interested in, like, if this becomes a rebuild, getting some of the draft picks out of while they can. If there's some rifts, especially personally within the organization. Cowboys fans would lose their absolute minds. But Jerry Jones, he makes these moves with his personal feelings involved more than he does logically for the team to be successful.
Well, Jerry Jones is that option quarterback, Mike. He holds on to it until the
last second. He pitches it or throws it, like Patrick Mahomes, who never runs the read option. But yeah, sure, Jerry. Good call there. All right, then they play New York. And I don't have confidence in them to even beat the Giants, but let's say they break a 3-game losing streak here. They would improve to 5-7. With Cincinnati up next, who will be playing for their lives at this point in the season as well, with the way that their season has gone. Like, if they have any chance of making the playoffs, they're looking at probably being around 500, maybe a little bit better at this time. They're not 3-5 by then or equivalent.
Actually, that might be a real good game right there. That might be a shootout game because both Cincinnati's defense ain't doing good either right now.
Who did you take, Cincinnati or Dallas?
I would probably still take Cincinnati.
Me too.
But it would be, I think it would be that might be like a 35-30 game right there, like one of those shootout games.
Yeah, I think I would be rocking with the Bengals in that one as well. So Cowboys at 5-8 there. Then they play Carolina. Again, I'm being generous here, but I do think this team can lose to anybody. I think we can give them a win versus the Panthers.
Yeah.
If Tampa doesn't make any moves on receivers or they don't do anything and they just keep this roster, I'm sorry to all the Bucs fans out there. I think Baker Mayfield's probably going to fall off of a cliff without these receivers out there. And we're going to see an ugly finish here from the Buccaneers the rest of the way. So I'll give the Cowboys the win there versus Tampa at home, too. Any gripe with that, or do you think you would take the Bucs?
Well, I think Mike Evans will be back by then, so it just depends. But and the running game for Tampa there now, they got the 3-headed monster going for him. Like, I think I'm not going to write Tampa off. I think Tampa's a really good team. Like, not like they're not as solid as they should be, but I think they're a good playoff team right there in the NFC.
So should I give Dallas the L right there?
I mean, it's a coin flip because, like you said, there could be injuries, and then Baker Mayfield is hit and miss. So if you want to give him the loss, I'm good with that. Like, because we got to agree on it, I'm good with it.
We'll give them a win for the sake of keeping them close to the playoff picture, because then their last 2 games here, if this goes the way we think it does, a game goes one way, a game goes another way, They go to Philly, week 17, and then versus Washington, week 18. And I assume that by this time, the Cowboys are trying to sneak into the wild card, and both Philly and Washington are playing for the division against each other. I'm with you. I think they get to this point in the season, and they get blown out back-to-back weeks to end the year and finish 7-9.
That was me just putting the nail in the coffin.
And yeah, I think that the Eagles and the Commanders would love to just ruin and end the Cowboys season.
Oh yeah, that would be a perfect way to do it, and especially the Commanders, like especially like somehow if the Cowboys are winning, they're in the playoffs, and the Commanders just smash them in week 18, like that would be a great thing for Dan Quinn to have that feeling over.
Yeah, and then heading into the playoffs too with some momentum for each of those teams that I assume, as long as there's no crazy injuries, will be going to the playoffs this year. That leaves the Dallas Cowboys with a generous, I think we were very nice with some of these and giving them wins, a 7-9 record to end this season at best.
And that's with the Buccaneers win?
With the Buccaneers win, and we're assuming they beat Carolina. We're assuming they beat New York. And we gave them the Atlanta win, too, at the very beginning, which is iffy.
Iffy, too. So, yeah, so you're looking at anywhere from 4 to 6 wins most.
And this is why I probably should trade CeeDee Lamb from all of my teams. Because
I just traded you CeeDee Lamb.
I know, and I should probably trade him. Because if it goes this way and we end up to 4-6, 4-7, I see CeeDee Lamb being the type of guy to say, you know what? I'm gonna pack my suitcase. I'm gonna go back to wherever I was holding out at, and sprain my pinky toe for the rest of the season.
Or his hamstring hurts.
Yeah, whatever it takes to get out of the lineup. Because if it gets this ugly, and you're not playing for the playoffs anymore. Like, why risk the first year of your contract and take the chance that something like what happened to Brandon Ayuk happens to you?
The good thing is they'll have a top draft pick.
Well, that's the problem. If they go 7-9, they won't. So they kind of like,
hey, even if
like, go ahead and tank. This is where it's dirty in the sport of football. I mean, it's in every sport where teams have to make a decision at midseason. Am I playing for this year or next year? And if you're playing for next year, like, that's a part of rebuilding strategy. That's a part of strategy in sports. Never go out there and purposely lose. I don't support that. But trading away Micah Parsons so that way you go out there and lose, I do support that.
As of right now, the Dallas Cowboys at 3-4 would have the 13th overall pick.
That's about where they'd
At
be
3
if
and
they go
4.
7-9. If they go 7-9, they'd be at 15, somewhere around there.
Like,
They're probably going to draft whoever like the top offensive lineman is available in next year's draft. So they could probably get him at that spot, 13, 10, 7.
depends on who's running the show. If Jerry
True.
Jones is still making the picks, you never know what's going to happen.
And that's a great transition here because we actually are working on another video that's going to drop later on. So make sure you subscribe to the channel with all notifications on for when it drops, on how we can help save the Cowboys franchise. Who should be in charge? Who should get fired? Who should get traded? We're going to go over it briefly later on in the week. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. For this segment, Joe, I appreciate you for coming on. Again, guys, like I said in the intro, Joe Morley stuff is in the comment section below. Anything else to say to the people about the Cowboys or about the Joe Morley pages before I sign us off here?
Cowboy fans, I'm glad you guys have been quiet this year. It's been nice not hearing it our year. Like, you guys recognized that early in the offseason. It wasn't your year. So I'm glad you guys woke up.
Okay, well, that's a good message for the Cowboys fans. Will the Cowboys make the playoffs this year? It's going to take a damn miracle, but I guess sooner rather than later, the ball definitely won't lie. Thank you for tuning in to another NFLMike video. Now it's time to go make more football friends or go and compete in the Mike's Pickems Challenge or against me in daily fantasy football challenges by joining my completely free NFL group chat or head to 5th fifthdown.shop and check out and see if we got your team's newest designs. Or now you can simply rep your favorite players without having to wear another team's gear. And then tag us in pictures of you wearing your Fifth Down merch for a shout out in the next episode of NFL Mike's Corner, and help us reach our goal of getting 1,000 NFL fans wearing Fifth Down. Or you can head to the next NFL Mike video by clicking it. It's on your screen.